So, hello guys. So first of all, apologies for the 24-hour delay. That's totally my fault. I just wasn't able to get it done in time. So, this is issue 45 of the Eddie Stobart. And as you can possibly make out from a little bit of steam round about there, we've got the tyre.
The road from coast to coast, Yorkie and me rolling on. 'Cause a long day's run can be short on fun without Yorkie to help me along.
So my apologies, I recorded this with no microphone and I didn't realise, so I'm going to have to do a bit of a narration. So what I'm doing here is I'm opening the only part of this issue, 4501, which is a left rear outer wheel tyre. As you can see, it is very, very solid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that into the hot water. As you can see, it's very hot water, so please do be careful. And some people like to use a radiator or use a hairdryer. Both are as good as all three are as good as each other. I personally prefer to use hot water. I generally make myself a cup of coffee while I'm doing these part work. So while the kettle's boiling, we just pour some water. So you'll see there's 4 screw points on the wheels, which is 4401, 4402. Do make sure they're lined up. And what you will also need is the PM 2.3 by 4mm screws, and you just need to screw that wheel together. Now watch out that the points are equally. You see, I'm looking at the inside and I'm just showing you that those 3 screw holes are not quite equally lined. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put the screwing together. I'm going to speed it up rather than sitting there talking to you while I do it. But essentially what I do is I fix one screw in just enough to bite, then I go to the opposite side and screw that one in just enough to bite, then I go to either the 3 o'clock or the 9 o'clock position and I pop the next screw in just enough to bite, and then I go to the last remaining screw. Make sure everything is all lined up correctly, because you're only putting the screws in enough to bite. It means you can make little adjustments if things should slip. But once that last one goes in, you can put that in fully, and then I work myself backwards until I've got them all in. And you'll see towards the end I do a little check. So if you need to ask yourself the question, are my screws in tight enough? Remember that one of these parts is metal. The answer is, if the 2 parts do not move, then they're in tight enough. Okay, so now that's done, we need to take the tyre out. Now I might be going belt and braces here, but I've got 4 pieces of kitchen roll, and be careful when you take that out. I use a screwdriver, it just saves me poking my fingers into the water. And you need to make sure you have dried this tyre absolutely thoroughly. And the main reason for that is that there'll be, because the water's so hot, you'll get a little bit of steam, and that steam, obviously you won't notice it. Once that steam cools down to room temperature, it'll go from steam to water, and if you don't dry it out properly, then you could end up with a couple of drops of water inside your tyre. Once that goes hard, that's extremely hard to get that tyre off. So you'll see that I am really making sure I dry that properly. I'm getting my finger right in there, shoving that absorbent cloth. Don't use toilet paper, because toilet paper leaves little bits of lint behind. I like kitchen roll. It's a little bit more solid. It's a little bit tougher. You can really shove it in there and just really get everything out, and it is super absorbent. And one thing I kind of missed, I saw it, but I missed it as I was saying, that tyre, do you see how pliable it is? So once we've cleaned the desk down, we need to get the wheel out. And what we're going to do is we're going to push that wheel straight through the tyre. I push it about halfway through, and then what you need to do is just pull and push that tyre backwards and forwards until you've got it on fully. Make sure that the rim and the edge of the tyre all line up. And if you find this is my opinion, I'm not a strong person. If you're finding this extremely hard to do, it's probably because you haven't warmed your tyre up enough. As I say, I'm really not a strong person, and if I find this easy, I would suggest that you stronger people out there will find this an absolute breeze. But as you can see here, look, all I'm doing is any bits that I'm not happy with, just keep pushing and pulling. This tyre will stay warm for quite a long time. You've got about 20 minutes, 30 minutes worth of working time before it becomes impossible to move again. So really do take your time on this and make sure it is as perfect as you can get it. As you see, like, I'm just, even though it's done, I'm still just going through and just making sure everything's fine. And yeah, that's it, that's done. So job's a good one. So I'm a firm believer that you should have a bit of fun when you get to the end of the issue. Have a bit of a play, have a bit of a speculation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull all the other wheels out. I'll do a little comparison to what we've done on this rear wheel compared to what we're going to be getting in the future. And yeah, just have a little look. Admire your work. Do admire your work, guys, because anyone who's come this far, you know, no matter how difficult or easy you think it is, you've done a grand job, you know, getting this far. We've got some magnificent pieces. So I'll leave you with me playing with my wheels. And all I'll say now is thank you ever so much for watching the video. Next week is going to be more parts. But there'll also, I'll be talking about future issues. Because there's not much to do on the actual build side. And I have got information on about 8 different issues. So as always, thank you so much for watching my videos, and I will catch you next week, I hope.